Wake Up MLS. It is that time of the year, I should say, as far as our monthly power rankings go. If you guys are brand new to Wake Up MLS, what this video is we're going to be, again, putting together our own monthly power rankings. We do this once per month where we sit down as a group, break down and kind of put every one of the 30 Major League Soccer franchises into respective tiers based on their current form, based on what we know about them already, as we continue to march towards the playoffs and that time of the year. We're already halfway through the 2025 season, so I think it's fair to say these power rankings are going to be probably the most accurate we've done all year. Again, stick around till the very end. Want to make sure that you guys are able to enjoy this all the way through. And as always, if you are not brand new to the channel or the show, you'll know that it is not just me for today's video. Got a great panel of co-hosts. Going to go ahead, bring the lads out now. Let's jump right into it, man. All right. So again, as always, we got Hector from Insert Name FC, Davi from the Blue Burrows Pod, John from Loud and Proud Orlando, and back after a little bit of a hiatus, Hitman Honda, all here with me today again to help me break down our monthly power rankings. We're not going to pull any punches, spare any hot takes. All of it's going to be here, guys. Let's jump right in. I'll go ahead and kind of share my screen here, break down the tiers, and we're going to jump right into this video. All right, man. So as you can see on your screen, all right, yeah, from bottom to top, we always rename these every month. And so I like the vibe that we're giving with the tiers that we have for this video. We got hope you all lose. Those teams are probably already out of the mix. From there, we got maybe we can make a run. I got a feeling that one's going to be one of the more popular tiers. Right in the middle, we got get in loser. We're going shopping. Transfer window right around the corner. Those teams that we feel are pretty close. Maybe a good window kind of puts them in a pole position to close out the season in a strong way. Then we have we coming, and then playoff merch already ordered. It's in the bag. Let's move on. All right, guys. Again, as we always do, man. Alphabetical order. It's how we're going to tackle this thing. Let's start with Atlanta United. What are we going to say about this team that we haven't said already throughout the year? They've been as up and down as they come. A lot of negative. It's gotten a little more positive in recent weeks, but still not clicking. Still not firing on all cylinders. So how do we feel about Atlanta United? Anybody got a strong tier they want to go ahead and put them in right off the bat? I'm thinking like, I don't know. They're kind of for me like maybe they can make a run. They figure shit out.
They have the players, right?
Exactly.
They have the players that should be able to make a run. They're just everywhere, man. I mean, positive is that at least in their last 5 games they've got 2 wins. They're also coming off of 2 straight losses that were more than 1 goal of a differential. But you gotta say with Miggy and Latte Love, who what is it now, like $4 million a goal for every time he scores?
They should have signed Cabral, bro. Should have signed Cabral.
Yeah, this is crazy. But I mean, like I said, there's something there. Maybe they can figure things out, and they can find themselves in a wild card position.
Yeah, I think it's to kind of make that possible, bro. They got to start putting some wins together now. Like heading into things like the Leagues Cup, there's going to be a little bit of a pause, hiatus there too. So, maybe that helps them, maybe it hurts them. Not really sure. But yeah, bro, I mean, this team right now sitting on 17 points. I mean, they're the Gattuso meme. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And I would say the last 2 games were shit. They were outscored 6-0 across both of those matches against Red Bulls and who was it? NYC, right? Yeah. And that game, shit got crazy. They actually had multiple chances in that game.
In which they allowed 3 goals in 4 minutes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I know there's the baseball stadium tax to be paid, but like, still, holy shit.
I mean, if there's a team that needs to take advantage of, I don't know who they're playing up against next, but they better hope that they got players going in the Gold Cup or something.
It's the crew. It's the crew, and they have a couple. They have a couple that have left, but like, it's I don't see traveling to Columbus is not going to be.
Keep in mind they lost to an NYCFC team without Alonso Martinez.
True.
They let Bakra score, of all people.
It is so because I know Hawkins with Guatemala. Schulte's hurt, right?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so, and I think he was under national duty as well.
Yeah. So I mean, this obviously we remember what happened last time.
Yeah, I think they can make a run. I think they got to fix some things out, bro. But like they have the players, and let's be real, they're not going to spend money. So like they're not going to like come up into this tier at all. I think this is the most accurate one. We'll keep it here, keep it pushing. Austin FC, dude, they are the epitome of this fucking tier. No,
Yeah.
like they
Yeah, they
need
gotta
to spend in the window. They need to get a 10. Anybody who has ever watched footy for longer than a certain amount of time can come in here and just see where the problems really are. They just can't create. And even when they do create, like the chances are still not being taken clinically yet, but they just need more volume of opportunities, man. Decent defense. I mean, like a $10 million striker up there, not doing too much as of late, but still, he did although Vasquez did technically score twice the last game, technically, right? That own goal and that he somehow scored, and then the goal that he got to win it. Yeah, I think we leave that right there. Anybody have any qualms with that Austin placing? I think that's accurate. Good to go? All right, fuck it, man. Let's keep it moving. Montreal, this is probably the easiest one.
I hope you lose.
They probably are. They've probably been wishing all year for everybody to lose. That's their strategy, because I don't know. They're just saying prayers for every game at this point. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Charlotte FC, this is the trickiest one.
Right there with Austin.
Really?
Right there with Austin. Maybe ahead of them, but they're right there.
Bro, I wouldn't even put it in my head. I think they're barely in a playoff spot. Weird run of form at this moment. I mean, who is the most bullish in this group on Charlotte? It's probably John, right? John, were you probably the most bullish on them coming into the season?
Early season, yeah.
Where are they accurately from your
Season.
perspective now?
Way down. Like way down. Like for real. I don't know. The defense, like honestly, a lot of what I thought it was going to be was the defense from last year, and that's not there. So the foundation they had last year is not there. They're in 9th right now. Like I think maybe we can make a run. Like I wouldn't say they're going to go like shopping. You know what I mean? Like they just need to figure it out. Like they have the pieces. They just need to. They need to defend, and they need to get Zaha cooking, and they need to, get their DPs in the final third actually working together, and then they could be okay. I rate them more than Atlanta. They have much bigger chances than Atlanta, but they still got to make a run. Like they got to do a lot in the East to make it in the playoffs still.
Yeah, they're actually more up and down than Atlanta right now. Like it's kind of weird. Like they'll tie to DC, right? And then they'll beat Columbus, and then they'll fucking lose to the Red Bulls. Or to the Union or whoever, right? It's just like I have no idea. My expectations for this team are 50-50 at best. Like I just don't know what to expect anymore. And it's a shame. I rate Dean Smith. I do rate him, but he's got to figure this shit out. He has to figure it out. I think this is accurate. I think right here they can make a run. I just don't know where the inspiration comes from at this moment in time.
Yeah, I saw Chicago has a game in hand, and then New England got 2 games in hand, and Chicago are tied on points. New England 2 off. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
They could actually, by the time the games resume, like this coming weekend, that like they could actually be out of a playoff spot by the time the weekend's over. Yeah, man, they got to figure this out. I think they can make a run. They're ahead of Atlanta, but it's still like a really weird situation if you're a Charlotte FC fan. If you disagree in the comments, man, let us know down below. I'm kind of curious, but I think that right now with what's coming up ahead, it's going to be tough sledding for Charlotte. A lot of push and pull back and forth. All right, man, Chicago. I kind of like they're right here, bro.
Really?
No? Is that crazy?
With just a game in hand, 28 points. I mean,
not so much on where they are on the table today, but like just what I'm seeing when I watch them play,
I mean, I think they already spent. I don't think they can.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to spend either. And I kind of feel like they're putting the charge together, Like I feel like they started off in a really weird way. It was like only road games, and they couldn't make anything happen at home. And I feel like, again, putting aside, dude, Cashville just has, BJ just has Greg's number at this point. Like, It doesn't matter where they play, when they play. BJ just knows how to get the job done against his old boss. Like, it is what it is. But, like, outside of that, man, they've been slowly kind of piecing together pretty strong results. And, we're forgetting, right? It was recently as a few weeks ago. Didn't they beat, who they beat 7-1? Was it DC?
It was DC.
Yeah, it was DC.
Yeah. Any team that's pumping in 7 goals in an MLS
I'm gonna
game.
Ignore past history with Chicago because they always give hope and then they end up shitting the bed, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go based off of this season, and right now, you're accurate with this.
Yeah. So they have the game in hand. Let's say they win that. If they win that, they're comfortably somewhere around like Inter Miami. You know what I mean? Like they're right there around that same position of the table. Okay, so again, you just think about a run they could go on. I feel like they're on their way.
Yeah, they have the team for it too.
Yeah, I think so too. So anybody disagree, man? Like I'm kind of looking for a hot take here. Maybe this was the hot take. I'm not really sure, but I do feel like people are gonna say, "Dude, they're 10th place." This and that. I don't give a shit.
In some way, it makes a lot of sense because they are in a very good run right now. So I don't think anybody can disagree on it. Well, look, when it comes to the tier list, we do count to how they're performing in the month. Where they are in the standings, can be relevant at some point, but I mean they're going on a run, and maybe while we're talking about two teams like Charlotte and Atlanta, they're saying maybe we can go run. Chicago's in fact in the run. So
yeah, they have Philly next week. And that's the game that I'll be paying close attention to. I think if they find a way, and again, it's at home, but whatever, they've struggled actually quite a bit at home. If they find a way to take Philly down, right, the top dogs over there in the East, I feel very strongly that Chicago can, I don't know, just move away from this stereotype of being serial bottlers, right, at the end of the day. So,
are you calling it a must win, or are you going to say it just needs a result?
To make me believe they're actually a playoff team, yes. I think that they actually have to win that game because it's at home. And if you're going to do anything in playoffs, not just get in, but do anything, you do have to try and you have to get some upsets here and there. You have to show your fans that it's not just the games that you're supposed to win that you're notching, right? Like that's what Portland's doing on the opposite end of the spectrum in the West. I think a lot of Portland fans always say that I'm too harsh on them, but if you think about it, right, they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, and they lose to the teams that they actually are giving them a challenge, are going to challenge them in the postseason, whatever the case may be. So that's kind of, for me, where Chicago is. Like, they're in Portland territory. To get out of that, they have to take down a big team at home. I think Philly is that opportunity. So for me to truly believe, I think it's a must-win. All right, man. Well, we have Chicago there. Let's go to Colorado. How we feeling? Can they buy? Do they have room?
Can they buy? That's a question.
I don't think they spent big, if that makes any sense. I think they went after guys that didn't really pan out in Europe, and now they're back here just looking for another chance to showcase what they're capable of. So yeah. I don't know if they necessarily are flirting at all with the cap. I could be wrong here. But if you add that knockout hit, this team could, which we've been praising this team, right? We've been saying that, they did a massive overhaul of players, and it seems to be working. Maybe right now is the time where you got your foundation, go get yourself that star DP and really make this team a threat.
Yeah, it could be that. Some of it also, I feel like if they were to get a DP I don't know. It's hard sometimes to look at a back line and be like, hey, they need to really upgrade there. I feel like right now it's a situation where they need to just flat out either score more goals or frankly just find a way to not be the first one to concede. That's what I see when I watch Colorado play, is that when they do concede, it's not like it's set up and close up shop, that's it, it's over. But they don't really I don't know. And maybe that is a sign they should go out and find an attacker or another piece to supplement Mihalovic with, Cole Bassett with, those guys. But I don't know what they need, man. They're on an interesting run of form right now. I think it's back-to-back L's or 3 straight L's, I think. They have Galaxy coming up, so that could be the streak breaker, Honda. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, bro, I don't know how to feel about Colorado, man. They're so up and down too.
They need a tactician in the staff. That's what they need. They need help in the staff more than anything on the actual field itself, because I feel like they are creating some chances. They're just not finishing them.
So Armas out? Is that what we're saying? Armas out?
Potentially. I mean, I'm not fully Armas out, but I'm saying like maybe somebody to help Armas.
John, you guys just played against Colorado, right?
Yeah, man.
How did the game look from their perspective?
I feel like they just lack quality. There's just like they got set pieces with Georgi Mihailovic, and you think the advantage of being that high up would at some point, really take over. But like we talked about before, I just think that they're kind of mid. Like I would say they're at best the 7th, 8th, 9th, is like really where I put them. Maybe they make the playoffs, so there's a chance they don't. I don't think they're I don't think they're a top 4 side in the West for sure. I wouldn't put them in there near that.
Okay. So what I hear there, and I kind of agree. I actually kind of agree. I think they have some players that when they're all playing well together, they're actually a decently cohesive team, but they lack the X factor. And I kind of agree with that. Like they lack the big
Their
name players
attackers are
that
like
you can
really mid, in my opinion.
Yeah, that you can just rely upon, right? Be like, hey, this guy's going to be able to bail us out in a game sometimes, in a big game, come up with a big moment that just decides it. Like they don't really have those types, those caliber of players. They have a couple here and there, but not enough to meaningfully challenge. So I don't know. It could be like, hey, they need to make a signing. My only question is like, after what they did 2 years ago, can they actually go out and do that? I don't know. So for that reason, I'm going to keep them here. They could make a run. It's just too early to tell, I think. So if nobody disagrees, let's move on to the Crew. And the Crew's actually a tricky one for me. How do you guys feel about Columbus right now?
1 win in the last 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a tricky one, bro. And no one's really talking about it, right? Is that the Nazi effect? Like we just respect it too much?
That 1 win is against Vancouver, who's the best team in the league.
I mean, fine, but if you lose the next 4, does it really matter?
I feel like they need a shot for some pieces. I can't lie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a hot take, but
no, I don't think so. I think, and I think they might actually still have room potentially, right? Like especially after like giving up all that salary that Kucha was taking up and things like that. So I know they went out and got Gazdag, and that's cool. But like, I think they can still potentially add pieces.
I think they need a striker. I think they need a striker to replace Kucha. I think once they get that piece, I think they could be.
Huh. I wonder who said that. I wonder.
Joveljic.
He's probably a guy that says a lot of things on this show. Says a lot of things. Some things more than a few times, to be honest.
I lose track of things sometimes. To be honest, sometimes I just shut my brain off and I just keep talking.
Hell yeah. Well, amongst all those things, Hector says he was spot on with this one. I think Columbus. Look, I think they can still trust to an extent the combination of Russell Rowe, Rossi, but like you still need some higher quality up there that you can rely upon, like you could with Cucho. I'm not saying you got to go out and get a Cucho Hernandez. That's going to be very expensive, but yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they waited until the summer so they could actually get somebody in.
That's probably what they're doing. I don't doubt it. But, I mean, it's kind of crazy, though, if you think about it. And again, I think it's maybe just the perception we have of Columbus. But, bro, if Miami had lost 4 games in a row, we'd be having a very different – there'd be a whole video dedicated to that on this channel, right? Everybody would be talking about it. But it's Columbus. And so I think that we just have so much respect for what they've done recently with Nancy. Keep saying he's one of the best managers, in this league. I think that's maybe just saved them a lot of the hate that comes along with dropping 4 games in a row. So, yeah, they need to go out and find somebody. I think that's the perfect place. Definitely we put them against or ahead of Austin, right? Because let's be real. Let's be fucking real, right?
They're clear as a team, bro.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. All right, that one's good. Quick and easy. DC United.
I hope you all lose.
Yeah, I'm trying to put that bad boy right there. You lose 7-1 to Triple G. Yeah, that's pretty much where you belong.
You know what? Is Benteke hurt or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, he got hurt, but I don't know if. But I mean, he might.
That was recent though, right? I mean, that wasn't like all season.
It was about a month ago.
You know what? Columbus, go after Benteke.
Columbus.
Yes. Columbus, go after him.
Bro, if the Crew get Benteke, I stop watching. I mean, I'll be fucking honest, bro. Like, I think I stopped watching, bro. I don't know, man. Like that, bro. Giving Nancy that kind of a striker would be insane. Insane. He would love it, though. He would love it.
He would cook.
Yeah. Bro, imagine upgrading like that in the middle of a season. You go from fucking DC United to Columbus Crew. Yeah.
Just Rossi by himself with Benteke, bro. League's cooked.
Just tell him, hey, go out there and stand in the box, bro. They'll find you. That's the instruction you give your Nazi. Just go out there and stand.
We'll just lob up a ball. You just win it.
F it, Benteke out there somewhere.
He's out there somewhere. Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. That would be a crazy signing. And guys, again, stick around with the channel, man. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. I think we're gonna probably tee up a nice like summer transfer rumors. Maybe a tier list video, kind of ranking who we think should really come to the league or just make moves internally within the league. I think that's a crazy shout, but a great one. Like Benteke going to Columbus would be huge. I don't see it happening yet, but that'd be a hell of a move for the crew to make as a front office. So we'll see, man. But DC, plain and simple, brain. Nothing we got to say about this. You guys are just bad. Period. FC Cincinnati. All right. Yeah. Has to be, bro. Has to be, man. And it's kind of crazy, man. Like I said, like they just don't skip a beat. Like whether it's due to some of the incoming signings or not, they just year after year right now, last few seasons in a row.
There is a rumor that Evander's attracting interest. I forgot from who, but I think from Turkey, somewhere in Europe.
Was it Galatasaray?
I think
or Fenerbahce,
so, yeah.
Maybe.
It was one of the two. I forgot.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it was a Turkish club.
I mean, if it's one, it's all three of them, bro. Like all three of them go after the same players.
Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough.
They I want to say though they have only won one game in the last 6, so like as much as they are up there for sure, they've been wobbling too. So it's not
they're very they're beatable despite their standing, their position in the table. They're beatable
for sure. But their team is all there. All the pieces are there. They just gotta go on a good run at the second half of the season, and they'll be top 4 for sure. I think.
Yeah, I think the one result in that run, John, that was like somewhat concerning. I'll be honest, bro. There was 2. There was the DC United L they took. That was actually a big one for me. Like at home, that was like holy shit. But I think the game that I watched, obviously the most detailed way, was the FC Dallas game at TQL, and that one, like it was weird, bro. They were almost in cruise control at 2-0, and the minute one goal went in. I don't know if they have some injuries they're dealing with back there, but the mentality just shifted entirely. We had really no momentum. You know, first half was completely dominated by Cincinnati, and then the minute that Musa got his goal, it just the tide shifted. And that's how soccer or football really works at the end of the day. But it just felt weird for a top team in the East like that. So
I feel like it happened to a lot of teams though. Like it happened to Orlando City. I know it probably happened to other teams around the league, and it was the same thing. The end of May, that Wednesday and Saturday game, it fell apart because they're just so tired. There's too many games, so the quality fell off. I mean, they conceded 9 goals in those 3 games against Atlanta, Dallas, and DC. But like, that's not great. But they're still up there in the points, and they got all the pieces, so they're going to be able to do it for sure.
And the craziest part of that stat that John just mentioned, all 3 of those teams currently out of the playoff picture, right? So, like when you think about that perspective too, they go if they had just happened to play 3 insanely strong teams in a row like that, you just kind of wonder how many goals it would have been, beyond 9. So, yeah, man, I definitely hear what you're saying. I think right now, Cincy fans are probably still like, "Hey, we're gonna make playoffs no matter what." And I wouldn't disagree with that, but it's just like, they could easily sort of maybe move down into this tier if we wanted to. Do you want to do that, or just keep them up here at the top?
No, we'll keep them there.
No, I'll keep them
there.
All right, bet. All right, Dallas, bro. I'll save y'all the trouble. Honestly, bro, we're like somewhere in here.
Really?
That's where I would say Dallas is at the moment.
Yeah.
It's weird, bro. Dallas is a team like it can step up when the moment comes. I just don't back them to. I really don't. Like if they do, they'll surprise me. That's cool. Like Cincinnati game, Miami game, yeah, sure, awesome. But then again, we'll drop weird games at home or bottle the Chicago game like we did. Concede 3 goals in the final 15 minutes to lose that game. So I know we come off a big win against Sporting Kansas City, but it's KC at the end of the day. This last month, actually, bro, if we were basing this off of May, if people were like, "Hey, I only want to go off form," I'd put this fucking team at the bottom, bro. May was one of the worst months for Dallas that I've seen in a long time. Like outside of that, I think we were winless in May. No bullshit. I think we were winless in May. So this is a team right now that still has a Lucho problem. Still has to figure out a few things. When the time comes and the spotlight is bright, they can turn it on, but you can't back that consistently. You know what I mean? Like we need to see some consistency from this team time and time again. I do like that Eric Quill as a coach is starting to incorporate more of the FC Dallas homegrown pipeline. We are seeing more players come in now. So not just Nolan Norris, but again, I think it was Pedro Agosto who had his debut in the KC game as a center back because Guida was out. And I was super nervous, but he actually looked really good in his debut. So that's cool to see more of identity coming back in a strong way. But outside of that, bro, like right now, this is where they're at. Which makes any big team that loses to Dallas right now, considering where they are, you should be looking into that. Should be looking into that 100%. Anybody disagree? Anybody think Dallas is better or worse than this?
That's fair.
It's fair.
All right, bet, bro.
Similar with the next team.
Yeah, we'll see. Hector, how you feel about this team, bro? How's Dynamo looking?
Maybe we can make a run.
Yeah, where are you putting them? Behind Dallas?
Just don't play at home, and you're good.
You lost 3-1 back-to-back games. One to Sporting Kansas City, and then to Montreal, of all teams. You lose 3-1 to Montreal. To fucking Montreal. I'm glad I was at a Metallica concert. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, bro. Hey, you know what? Davi was right there with you not too long ago, right, Davi? You experienced that shit firsthand.
Yeah, but you know what? At least we can get our revenge. But like Houston, they're just gonna have to hold it.
Yeah, that actually is true. That actually is.
Hey, they escaped baseball tax, right? Give them credit.
To be fair, NYCFC were fucking shit.
But still, bro, the 2 wins Montreal have. We have fans of each team in the show today. Love to see it.
Anyways.
Love to see it.
But
yeah,
aside
man.
from Dynamo are really good on the road, surprisingly. So yeah, I think there's something there. I think there's going to be some concern, especially with the whole wondering what's going to happen with Jack McGlynn. I mean, he's like 1/3 of our scoring capabilities if it's outside the box. So I mean,
only bangers, bro.
Only bangers. But I think aside from that, I think there's still some sort of nucleus there with the Dynamo. I do hope that they make some signings. I don't know if they need to get like big DP signings. I think the guys that they have right now at the DP spots are fine. I think it's just getting some role players in here and get some depth in, and maybe you don't really have to go get signings. Maybe just promote some guys from D2.
Interesting. Yeah, you definitely could. I think. Yeah, I think that's accurate. It's like Houston, I thought was kind of turning the corner. I would say like as recently as like the last Texas Derby, I feel like Houston was like starting to turn a corner, getting a little more confident, and then some of the recent results haven't gone their way. I think this is accurate. I would put them ahead of Atlanta. I think right here is probably where they belong.
Shout out to that game. Also, Jose got to witness me being like a mini celebrity amongst the academy players.
Oh, I did see that. That actually was pretty cool, bro. We're just walking around the fucking stadium and like just academy players multiple times, time and time again, and just like, hey, Hector, and just like, bro, it was wild. I was like walking around with a famous person, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. So shout out Hector, shout out Dynamo Academy. All right, man. Let's go to Miami. We did say, which by the way, if you guys haven't tuned into that video at home, pause this, go check it out. Davi had a crazy, fantastic take, in my opinion, around this is the buy or sell video we're talking about around Miami potentially dropping out of playoffs. I think it was a great take. Do you stand on business, Davi, with this tier list? Do you think Miami is in a weird spot?
I think they are, but it depends on how far they get into the Club World Cup.
That's actually a good point.
Their chances of advancing just went up a lot by beating Porto. Fantastic free kick by Messi. I mean, what are you doing? Like, whenever there's a team with Messi and you're fouling in that area, you're gonna pay the price.
Specifically that spot.
Exactly. Right there. I mean, that's basically a penalty. It's basically a penalty for him.
Yeah,
it's giving Fredo the kiss of death before in Godfather. So,
yeah, facts, bro. But again, everything's so contentious, so weird in that middle spot within the Eastern Conference.
Are they in Leagues Cup this year, Miami?
That's a good question.
I believe they're not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because of the Club World Cup, they are not in the Leagues Cup. So
they're still are they an Open Cup too, or are they out of that one as well? I think there are 2 teams playing in it, right? Correct?
I believe so. I don't think it's their first team.
Pro team.
And if they were, like I said, if they were still in, I believe, and they just had like a weird mix of games, I believe that they would come in and bring a lot of youngsters in for those Open Cup matches that are left. That is my belief. So
imagine Inter Miami 2 and just Messi just goes.
He just subs in. Like, bro. That'd be kind of crazy. But look, bro, I mean, like they're right here in the middle. They're technically 4 points out of dropping out of the East in terms of a playoff spot. That's where they are. And I agree with Davi. It really just depends on how far they actually progress in this Club World Cup. We did do those predictions on the channel as well. Go check those out. I think Davi was probably the only one outside of me and Hector who didn't have them progressing. Or no.
I had him bottom.
You had
He
him
had him at the
bottom.
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had him in
I-
third.
What a
I think
fucking
they're-
prediction that was.
I think I think there's a
Navi, I was
real
right there with you, man.
I think there's a real fight or flight right now if you're Miami.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly. I mean, we talked about that. There's even rumors of Mascherano getting sacked. Messi. I don't know if Messi's continue on with negotiations as far as staying more years with the MLS, but it's fight or flight right now. They got something to prove, and I think if they're able to, just getting out of the group of the Club World Cup, just in general, I think will be a big success for them, a huge confidence boost for them. And could that be brought into this? I mean, could they also make some signings? That's not outside the realm of possibility. The team is just old. This is just a really old team. Like, if you really look at this team, like if it was like 5 years ago, I'd be really more excited, but
Yeah.
it's not.
So then maybe they go out and sign someone, right? At least to freshen things up. It's like, my question is, do they lose any sort of motivation if they do progress decently far into the Club World Cup? Was that kind of what they were hoping for? Does Mascherano have less pressure on him? Does he find a way to give some of the aging players a little more rest? And what does that do for Miami? There's several question marks coming out of this tournament.
I think you saw it after CCC. It's like the motivation kind of went down a little bit and mixed in with last year in the record-breaking season.
Yeah.
I don't think there's as much motivation after Club World Cup for them to, unless they're fighting for their playoff lives. Other than that, like post Club World Cup, like the next few games after that, I can see them like dip in form. I don't think they'd be that motivated.
He definitely bought more time with this, especially.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the first ever time that an MLS team has beaten a team from UEFA in a competition.
Yeah, that game was crazy too, by the way. And I'm not going to go as far as saying Porto was shit. I think some there's a lot of people here on the timeline. I really think Miami actually just played pretty well, and that Messi free kick was glorious. Like at the end of the day, that's really what it came down to.
I will definitely say Porto shit because I've seen them play much better footy.
Yeah, fair. And I think you could say that about a couple different teams that I've already seen play in the Club World Cup. Botafogo didn't look that great against Seattle in the opening game. I'll be honest. But at the same time, like I know I've seen better play for them, so I know they're a better team.
Yeah,
and
they're
so
up 1-0 on PSG at the moment as we record. So
point made, right? Point fucking made. But I think they're a good team. But at the same time, right? I will give Miami their flowers. I feel like too often people try to drag MLS sides or American sides in competitions like this, where it's like, oh, the team you were playing against really didn't just wasn't playing well. They didn't show up. They were playing at half speed, whatever the case may be. I don't believe that. I think
Miami did what they needed to do, which was win.
Yeah, but I think it's coping from the fans. You know what I mean? It's just pure copium. Like,
I think with some fans, it's just a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It is a lose-lose. You have to win the game because you just have to. The reputation of the club and the team and the league. And yeah, for Porto, it felt like very much a lose-lose. So, Champions League level team, by the way. Champions League level team. All right, man. I think this is where they're at. I think Miami, for me, is like they probably still could go shopping. I'm sure MLS will find a way to either
sign their 26 DP.
Yeah, be okay with whoever they bring in. Like, it is what it is. But I think that they'll find a way to refresh the squad at least slightly because I think there's going to be a slowdown.
They need defense rebuild. That's what they need.
If Messi really wants to win something this year, he just needs to go to Busquets and to Alba and all his boys and say, y'all too old. And you can go, and I'm going to find some other guys to win it with.
Nah,
like,
bro.
Let's be real. Like, they're
true.
not going to do it. Like,
they're not going to.
Honestly, and the time is running out. And I think this is going to be another trophyless season. I think they're worse than they were last year. Mascherano was a massive mistake. I'm telling you, man, it's all going to get worse. I don't believe it.
Yeah, Messi about to fire a new banana boat crew.
I agree with John.
Club World Cup is like Messi doesn't want to be embarrassed because he cares what he looks like on the world stage. But like when they go out of that and then they're going to get knocked out of Leagues Cup again, or they're not going to go in that, and just every competition is going to be more and more demoralizing till they're just like it's MLS Cup again or nothing. And the team isn't there. The defense is not there.
I think last year was their best chance at MLS Cup and they blew it.
So are we now saying that Messi's not going to win a league trophy in his time in MLS?
No.
It's looking less and less likely.
I'm not gonna say that because Messi somehow out of nowhere always ends up with a trophy, no matter what. Whether the refs help him or not, it is what it is, bro. Like,
But they have like fundamental problems both in defense and with the manager now, and I don't know how you fix all of that in half a
a
season
little
and
bit
win
of
the trophy.
cash with a little bit of
Like,
cash, just give it to the ref.
that's what we're saying. Like they gotta. That's why in this category they gotta go out and do what they should have done in the summer, mid-season.
I agree. I think last season was almost perfectly poised for it. It's almost like I don't know, like they stopped once they got the shield. It was like, all right, cool, we won the league, right? This is the trophy we're supposed to win. It's like, no, got playoffs to go
Wonder
now. Brother.
why
We
they
gotta,
thought that.
yeah,
European guys, huh?
yeah, yeah. I agree. And again, Inter Miami fans, Messi stands in the comments below. Let us know how you feel about that, man. But it'd be crazy if, because again, even at PSG, man, he hoisted that bad boy. If this was the one league he wasn't able to win the league trophy in, it'd be kind of crazy. It'd be kind of crazy if MLS did that to him. But we'll find out, man. Either way,
they did it to Zlatan. They did it to Zlatan.
Yeah, but at the same time, like Zlatan's not the GOAT. You know what I mean? It's just
PSG
different.
and Barca were easily one of the best teams in their league. Like they have not built a Miami team that is, in my opinion, this year clearing away one of the best rosters with these aging guys. It's not like the best roster in MLS right now. Really, it's
Yeah,
not.
definitely not. Definitely not roster. They may have the potentially the best group of X factor players, but like it doesn't matter if you're conceding 2, 3, 4 goals every fucking game. Like it really doesn't. That back line is horrendous. I'm actually surprised they played decently well in this Club World Cup. I thought this was going to be like open season in the Club World Cup. To be honest, I thought every team was in the back 2 or 3 goals minimum. Just hasn't been the case. So they've outperformed my expectations, but how that carries into the rest of the season in 2025, could not tell you, man.
Hey, you know what? To their credit, they could actually win the group.
Yeah, they can.
I don't see them beating Palmeiras.
But the possibility's there.
True, but like they were lucky not to lose to Al Ahly, and Palmeiras was clinical in that game. Beat them 2-0.
I love that the possibility is there. There's always the possibility. I agree with that part.
Yeah, I mean Harry can't win a trophy, so
yeah, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. But it's just like, man, when you watch that game, like honestly, Al Ahly could have shut that shit down in the first half. In the first half, they could have just beat.
I mean, both goalkeepers just stood on their head.
Yeah, Ustadi was amazing.
Isn't all this Club World Cup just like exerting energy towards something that's not MLS? You know, and they're going to be even more tired when they're done with this.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Dude, they might not even be motivated because that was the motivation.
Yeah,
Club World Cup,
100%. There's no way in hell that when
they're not going that far, really. Let's be honest. So.
No, but I think isn't it every round you go into, it's like a crazy cash bonus, like every round deeper that you make it with this Club World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's some motivation there, but I think he just wants to prove that. Oh wow, I just saw that chance. I think he just wants to prove that MLS can be relevant in these leagues, and that be part of Messi's legacy, right? He got an MLS team to go far in the biggest club competition in the world. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, but right now, yeah, they need to refresh the squad or potentially suffer a worse outcome than last year in 2024. So we'll see what happens. Galaxy,
put him in the bag. Put him in the bag. And just keep rolling.
Come on, man.
Behind Montreal is rough, bro. That is rough.
Like
you're the lowest of the low right there.
It is rough.
It's gonna take us. Here's the thing, right? We have to average 2 points from here on out. We can't lose to even make it into the play-in.
Yeah, I mean, look, bro. Technically, back-to-back games now, not a loss. Crazier shit's happened. Now, with that said, I mean, you guys beat Salt Lake, and I think that St. Louis draw was actually crazy.
They should have won.
The back and forth, Klaus getting his all of it, man, was super crazy. Yeah, man, it was a wild game. Yeah, I didn't. Nothing more can be said right now. It's interesting, man. What happens? We can save this in-depth conversation for another time. But I'm kind of curious what happens if the Galaxy don't make a move at all in this window. I'm not sure if they can. But if they don't, and you end the season the way you did in 2023, like just what happens with the squad? How many pieces do you guys move around? What old heads do you guys move out? And try to.
Well, Miguel Berry is on. You know, we'll take 10K Gam. You know, for him.
He's one of many, bro. He's one of many that have to kind of depart at this point.
10K Gam. I don't even know if you guys get that.
I know, bro. Yeah. It's wild, man. Bro, why is Ramirez not playing at this point? Isn't he y'all's top goal scorer?
Is
Yes.
there a trade back to Columbus?
I mean, shit, something has to happen, bro. Like, why is he not playing? Like, does Vanny just not believe in him anymore? Like, is he the only one that has put the ball in the back of that? But besides, like,
It's not that he doesn't believe in him. He just wanted a team that could like actually move around on the top. So like the players are not just stationary. Like, yeah, I know
that
Christian
makes
Ramirez
sense.
can go towards the wings as well too, but they also want him tracking back.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like the way you want to play, but at the end of the day, there's just something to be said about someone who can find the back of the net. You know,
It's
And-
working though. We
Yeah.
won and we draw. So
and you guys have Colorado coming up. To me, this, like you just said, right? This is a must-win just to get yourself back into some kind of a relevant position, at least with form at a bare minimum. So, yeah, man, this is super interesting. I think, I don't know, man. I have some questions of Vanny, but I will not go as far as some people who are like, dude, he should have been gone a long time ago. I'm like, man, he
No, we
gets a
just
lot
come
of grace
The-
for what happened last season.
The aesthetics were just not great when they when they announced the extension.
Yeah. Could have done it at a better time. Probably done it after, you lift the MLS Cup. That way there's no question about it. But, like,
or
I think
just don't announce it. Just never need to announce it.
Exactly.
I think it was just like a show of good faith. Like, hey, despite everything that's happening, we have faith in our coach. And I respect that because too often, #St. Louis, too often teams just move on without really even understanding what the root cause of the issues were. If it was more on the players as opposed to the manager, context is super important. I feel like a lot of teams forget that.
Best believe next season, if he fucks up though, like he's out.
Yeah. It won't even be like a big mistake or anything by Vanny's part. I think it's just like it's a results-oriented business. You just have to get the results one way or another. You don't have to play beautiful football. You just have to get the results.
Do you guys remember after Toronto and they won MLS Cup? What happened with Vanny?
Yeah, they completely
Yeah.
capitulated the next year.
Yeah.
But
Pretty
to
bad.
be fair, they did make a
It's
deep
a
run in
thing.
the CCL that year.
How often does that happen in MLS too? Where
I think it's more like a Vanny thing, honestly. He has
yeah,
like
probably.
they all believe in him, and then they just, in my opinion, I've heard that he
They just
loses
run
the
out of
locker
gas.
room after a year or so.
I think it also goes back to how they just say what you with LA Galaxy, and I think even with Toronto, they went all out in that season. When they saw that they had something to build from, what they do, they went all out and made sure of that team. Unfortunately, that salary cap is what it is, and obviously we've heard our whole thing about all that. But at the end of the day, like, that's what you do if you're going to be a winning. If you're a team that we're on the cusp of winning a championship, you go all out to secure that championship. Now the aftermath part, that's a whole different conversation. And I think that with the fault of LA Galaxy was just they didn't prepare accordingly for that part.
Yeah.
Because there's teams that have shown that you can work with the salary cap and still maintain a team. I mean, hell, LA Galaxy is probably the example for that as well, for their repeats. But I mean, so there is proof in the salary cap still can work in some aspect.
Yeah. I mean, hell, other teams are making it work. But again, we have seen some drop-offs recently, right? Like I think even back to the Crew, 2 years ago when they were firing on all cylinders. Last year, kind of a little bit lackluster due to all the competitions they were playing in, still progressing really far in the Triple C. And then again, even a step further down this season, at least up to this point, right? So yeah, it could be a little bit of a trend. And there could be some Vanny trends mixed in there as well. But yeah, man. We'll see. Either way, though, the excuse he always has in his back pocket, they can always pull out whenever he wants to, is that I have no Ricky Puig. He's my best player, and he makes the whole system run. And without him, it's a little bit lost. So again, there's that excuse if he needs it, but he will get more time.
I mean, it just seemed like everything horrible came into one and just concocted into what we're seeing now.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Not wrong. But either way, that's where they stand. By the way, a big Saudi Arabia chance that was just missed. That was kind of crazy. Yeah.
They were offside.
Thankfully. All right, man. LAFC.
Come on, Glenn, you should have went for the banger.
They haven't really lost recently, huh? When was their last loss?
It's been a while, bro, but they picked up in form heading into the Club World Cup. I think even qualifying it for that tournament gave them a shit ton of confidence, bro. I feel like that game against America, they actually celebrated like they had won the damn tournament already. You know
Their
what I mean?
last
Like,
loss was
That's
in
nine
the CCC against Miami.
I feel like they're on their way, bro.
They're on their way.
They're on their way.
They played
I
Chelsea
mean, I
really well in
definitely
that game
put them
too.
in front of Chicago.
Yeah,
yeah, that's actually a good point. That's a
they've
very valid
been on
point.
their way. Chicago
Yeah,
is like
they're like playoff for sure. I'd say.
They usually are with a team that good. You think they would be, and I think maybe what's playing in the back of my mind a little bit too is like how much is the motivation around Cherundolo's final season with the club kind of playing in their minds? Is this Bowanga's final season with the club as well? I know he's like he's 29, about to be 30. Does he want to go back to Europe? Does he want to stay in MLS for the rest of his career? There's some things I got to figure out, you know. But with a transition looming, this could be like, hey, let's squeeze this orange for every bit of juice we possibly can get this season.
It's like the last ride.
Yeah,
last
to an
loss in
extent.
MLS was to Houston Dynamo back in April.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, they're on their way, man. On their way. Or do we want to move them up? Are they behind Cincinnati? Maybe.
Maybe not yet, but
Yeah, they're not there yet. But
because of the teams that they've played, like they should have beat. Realistically.
All right, I'll take that. Okay, man. Minnesota. I feel like they should go shopping, but it's just a more of a question of Minnesota as a front office. They don't really move that way, you know. I think what's the manager's name? Is it Reynolds? What's his
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Younger manager has, I think, the biggest draw for him as a coach, right, was the fact that he worked primarily with younger players. They have a lot of those in Minnesota mixed in with some true veterans. I don't know if they're going to buy. I really don't.
It's just a weird team because, like, they could go on and destroy Miami, but then they tie with Austin. Like,
yeah, they're somewhat up and down, but still a good team. Like, actually, still a good team. I mean, still, you know, I don't want to say like tables everything, but they still seem to get majority of the results across the line for the most part, bro. And I will say the one, I think we talked about, who was it? We talked about like this. I can't remember what team it was, but turning more.
Vamos!
Did they get it?
Yeah,
the Texas boy. The Texas boy.
Let's go, man. The FC Dallas agenda comes through again.
The FA Cup, FA Cup champion. FA Cup champion.
FA Cup champion Chris Richards gets the goal to put US ahead of Saudi Arabia. I was going to say about
visualize Man City. Visualize Man City.
Bro, yeah. Again, great goal. They needed that too after all the chances Saudi Arabia just had. But going back to Minnesota, I feel like, again, if they could, like, what are they, like 6 draws, 7 draws, something like that? If they had converted more of those into wins, we wouldn't even be having this conversation around them being a weird team. I really don't. They're like just that step away. You know what I mean?
I feel like you're underrating them. I feel like they should be in We're Coming. I think they're better than Chicago. They're third in the West, man. Like they got 30 points. It's not. I feel like they in the past have been that team, but this year I think they've taken a real step forward, and they look like one of the better teams in the West. And they're inconsistent, sure, but when they're on, you know.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
If you're gonna take it, their last recent games, they're 2 wins, 2 draws, and recently lost to San Diego. So
yeah, good team. Like I said, I think there's one-off results here and there where, like, didn't they lose to you guys, Hector, in Houston? And they lost to Houston like 2-0, 3-0, some shit like that.
2-0 to Houston.
Yeah, so and that was like what, a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, something like that. It's like they have random, weird one-off results, but that to me is just a sign of a good young team that isn't always as consistent as they need to be. So, like John said, they're a good team, and that's why I'm saying, like, to me, they could easily fall into this tier only because of like the fact that they probably could add pieces. But
well, I think when you say we're going shopping, is we're going to get guys, whereas with them, you could say maybe they just need one.
One X factor player away from actually being a true powerhouse.
I don't know what they need, but it's just like
I don't know what they need. But
maybe experience. Maybe that's all.
A little bit more experience for sure. Because again, it was just some of the late goals that turn into draws. You know, and again, they pushed Vancouver to the brink. But
Perfect,
you know,
Bernard's pissed.
But keeping up with the San Diegos of the world is their goal, and to me, they're not there yet. You know, it's like they're a good team, but not quite great just
I mean,
yet.
their last game literally proved it. I mean, they were up, I think, at some point, and then they allowed San Diego to come back.
Yeah, and that to me, that's just X factor. That's all it comes down to. San Diego has better players up top,
They
so
gotta learn how to see out games, and then they'll be better.
yeah, I agree. But I would still back them over LAFC and Chicago at this moment.
Dude, I could see them making a deep run in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, we'll see, man. And if they do, that stadium is going to be popping, man. 100%. 100%. All right, man. Cashville. BJ's 2-0 now against Triple G.
We coming.
Yeah, I think they might be coming, man. Ahead of Chicago? Like that?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so
I
too,
put
bro.
them ahead of LAFC too. Me personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
LAFC, man, like if these two teams play each other right now, I might still back LAFC. But I do think that just in the league right now, Nashville is a hotter team. I'll agree with that. I think it's just experience for me with LAFC. Like if this was MLS Cup right now, I'm taking LAFC 100%.
Oh, if it were MLS Cup, it is LAFC. Like
X factor at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Bro, and who was anybody on this panel who trashed Surridge? Because Surridge looks good now, bro. Sam Surridge looks like he's doing the damn thing.
I trust Sam Surridge.
Bro, I expect the apology video in due time, due fashion.
I will not apologize for Sam
I think he needs to hear that you guys were wrong and he's turned it around, bro. He's actually looking pretty good.
I feel like
Sam Surridge is just a very reasonable striker. If you give him service, he will put the ball in the back of the net. But like he's not going to create anything. So he is getting fed the ball, and he can score goals. But he's not like, oh my god, he's game changing Sam Surridge. He just scores goals.
Bro, you just said my striker just scores goals, but he's not a game changer. But
what I'm saying is he's not going to create something out of nothing. Striker.
So he does.
He is a give him the ball in the right place. He'll put it in the back of the box, poacher kind of striker. But there's a lot of guys in this league like that.
But you need those guys to show up and score goals. No, like that's
give me this.
He's not Hanny Mukhtar. He's not Hanny Mukhtar.
Like, so without the rest of the team, he's not like wow, amazing. He's not Ty Baribo. He's not doing that. Like he's not at that level right now.
But he doesn't.
What I'm hearing is he's just like, hey, fuck that guy. John just has some kind of
look, man. He was terrible for Stoke, and I will never put it away, and I will never get over it.
Give me a second season, and then I'll apologize, Serge. But right now, no.
Yeah, I think also Nashville. I'm still gonna say this, and you might be like, no, I think they're gonna drop. I think they're still like a lower, like a mid-table Eastern team. I'm not giving up. I'm telling you, man. They've had a very good start to the year.
DVD. We all know what happens when
I'm not sure it's gonna continue. I'm telling you, just the bubble might burst for Nashville. I'm just gonna put that out there.
We'll see.
Cashville, start blurring some Young Buck because this is your time.
Start learning some Young Buck. Bring Young Buck back. That's we don't get many references to Young Buck on this show.
There's literally a song called "Let Me In."
Hell yeah. Look, man, he looks pretty decent, and I will say I agree to an extent in terms of like him. Yeah, he's not a game changing number 9. But all I really want when you have creators behind you is a guy who can put the ball in the back of the net. Now, what I think what needs to happen is like it's moments now, right? Like football or soccer is a game of moments. And I think with strikers, it's like not just the volume of goals, but do you score in those moments, those big games that allow you to end up in a better position at the table at the end of the season, scrape by in playoff rounds, right? Like, can Sam Surridge be that guy? That's to be determined. We'll find out. But if he is, John's he's gonna hear some words. He's gonna hear some words. All right, man.
I already got to apologize anyway. I'm just gonna double down and then double
again.
I love it, bro. I love it. All right, man. The Revs, the sneaky Revs. How do you feel about these guys?
I think if they get a piece or two, I think they could be good. They could be up there.
Get in loose. We're going shopping.
Yeah, bro. They need to, right?
Remember, I bought in this team. I'm buying in this team right now.
You're buying in. You have a team crate now at the house, ready to go.
Bro, I'm invite me to toss a tea crate. Invite me. I'm down. I'm down.
Bro, that'd be fucking hilarious. You imagine?
We're gonna jam to some Dropkick Murphys while we're at it, bro.
I love a good Irish song. 100%. Yeah, bro. Are they ahead of Austin in this tier? Is that too bullish?
They got a better defense than Austin.
That defense.
That's technically. Here's the thing. Here's my conundrum. That's technically the identity of both of these teams. One's just in the East, one's in the West. But that's the identity of both of these squads, is that they rely on defense, and if you can get the goals on top of that, great. But the identity is keeping people out. So
Austin has a -6 differential. New England
it's because they
has
can't
5.
score, bro. It's not necessarily because they can't
They
stop
got
goals.
15 goals. New England has 17. New England's better, bro.
All right, fuck it. I mean, look, I'm an Austin hater, so you're not hearing an argument from me. I'm totally down with you
the
there.
question is who gets the ball to Brandon Vasquez. I think New England's like, we kind of maybe have a guy.
Yeah, true. Carlos Heal's that guy. He is that guy.
They just need a striker to get up there and finish the chances that Carlos Hill could
it's the
create.
meme of the dude poking at Carlos Gil. Just do something, bro.
Do something, bro, please. Yeah, okay. I'm down. Let's keep him there. Davi, talk to me, bro. NYCFC. Be real.
Get a loser. We're shopping.
Yeah,
I don't know if we're
right.
shopping. That's a different story, but we got to shop. I mean, when you fleece, yeah, I think right there is fine between Columbus and New England.
Yeah.
I mean, when you fleece Botafogo for $17 million of your best playmaker, I think you got to go shopping. I don't know if it's something from the top CFG. I don't know if they're seeing anything, but
they need to do it in New York fashion too. They need to.
Yeah.
Splash that cash, bro.
Here's the thing. I think they're waiting. They're waiting for the stadium, for sure.
What if Man City buys Estavio, but then sends Estavio to New York City?
I mean, isn't he signed to Chelsea?
Esteval? Yeah, I think so.
Esteval? I'm pretty sure he is.
He could be easily bought.
He could be easily bought. I don't think they spent a ton of money
Chelsea.
on him. I think they could easily. But first off, City could easily buy anybody. But why? That's a good point, though. Hunter brought up. Why don't they do that? Like they've done that with other players, with other clubs around Europe. I mean, why could they not bet on a really talented academy kid, or whatever, and just send them to NYC?
I just think they don't want to come to MLS.
Now, why buy the fucking club? Like why build the stadium? Why do all of these things? Like,
I don't think anybody can say no to City Group.
Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. It's just weird. I don't know why NYC.
I just don't think they see MLS at the level of Europe yet. So I think that's why. And you see a lot of players maybe they want to go to maybe France or Spain or playing.
Oh, you think it's more the player,
it's on the player. It's not on the.
They don't really move.
There's a thing called you signed a contract.
And where they loan him out to? What were you saying, John?
Well, they just don't really when they set it all up. It was assumed you're gonna loan guys to the A League and you're gonna loan guys to MLS, and they just don't really do that. Like Man City, if they want to loan guys, they loan them to the Championship or League One or League Two. They just and there's not a lot of moving around of players. Like there is the odd sale here and there, Davi, but it's not like. I feel like the Rebels do more with their connections.
That's actually very true.
A lot.
Well, yeah, but there's also less teams in that.
Yeah, but they do more with it. They actually move players around.
They move players more around in their system, and it's kind of crazy too because even if you were to inverse it, you look at what Hannah just mentioned with Girona. Bro, they probably could have. City probably could have used, as Manchester City could have used, any one of the 3 best players that they shipped off last season. And they didn't. They just sold them all to other teams. And they could have kept them around in that system. I don't know. It was just a weird. It's like weird business that they do. I know City's the priority, but it's just like they could do more, right? With the sister
There's
club.
So many U23s at Man City they could send on loan to New York City to play for a season. Why is that not happening?
But it's also on the player. They probably don't want to come to MLS.
Once again,
I think if I was in Manchester and they're like, you want to go to New York for a year? I think I'd be on board.
Yeah, just go to New York for a year. It's a 5-hour flight, bro.
Of MLS though.
So
they'd much rather play in Europe than
I think they'd rather play in New York than
Chapeltown.
I don't think
Aldershot. No lies. It's nice, but I think New York is glamorous, dude. People want to live there.
Yeah, but it's also the pay, the level. It's more the football side than.
I think Davi's coping.
No, it's not cope. It's the truth.
Davi, there's no player can no player can put down. I don't want to go to that team. There's no way. The club they're saying we're shipping you here because we're not playing you. Especially if it's City.
I think it's also the fact that we play in a baseball stadium could also be a
Either
factor
New
in that,
York
but-
or you fight monsters down there in Australia, right?
You fight monsters down in Australia.
It's baseball or scorpions. That's what you got.
Yeah, you got spiders the size of legit people, bro. 100%. Yeah,
How-
it's
I did.
a kangaroo where nature is his gym.
yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly.
To go back to the Santi thing, there's also rumor that it was may have been a Pascal Janssen decision to get rid of him.
Yeah, maybe.
So-
I mean, also at the same time, too, it's like it could have been a Pascal decision just because of the funds it creates to actually go out and get players that he really
Yeah,
wants.
but it also like there's rumors like he may have not fit the system that he wanted to play
Yeah.
in. So maybe he's like, hey,
It
you know
could
what?
be.
This is going to open up a lot of funds. We
Yeah.
could strengthen in the summer when all the Europeans are on the break, and they could try to find somebody that way. But I don't know. But ultimately, NYCFC is very hard to get rumors and transfer nuggets out of it. So we'll just see it when it happens. But they better spend. That's the
Hey,
thing.
Rico Lewis is not doing too high in City. I'm just saying.
But he's not.
Hey,
coming-
bro, if Rico Lewis comes to MLS, I'm fucking mind blown.
But
I'm
is he-
mind blown at that point.
Is
That'd
he,
be crazy.
is he really going to take that step down from Prem to MLS? I don't think so.
But if he did, bro, that'd actually be so insane.
But it's
It'd be
not
so
going to
insane.
happen. That's the thing.
I know, bro, but it's not because you guys have a baseball stadium. I'll tell you that. That's not the reason why. I don't disagree with you, but I
Could
don't think
be.
it's because it's
It could
MLS.
be.
I think it's just like City just find a way to get the most bang for their buck anywhere they do business, and even if it means they don't ship players within their system. I think that's just how they roll. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Red Bulls, opposite side New York or New Jersey. They're kind of in make a run territory, I think. I think there's somewhere in here.
I mean, they're kind of like us. They're just inconsistent. Like sometimes they win a couple games, sometimes they lose a couple games. I mean, that's the trend in New York right now when it comes to the MLS.
Yeah, I feel like that's accurate because, and at the same time, they already spent in the last window, right? I don't see that scenario where they spend again.
It's more disappointing for them because they went all out for Choupo-Moting and Emil Forsberg. So you would assume those two would do well consistently, and the Red Bulls would be up there in the table, but they're below us right now. And the difference with us, we haven't spent yet. They already went in. They went all in. They were this close. They were this close to winning the cup.
Yeah, and with that said, if they are in this territory, I do truly believe they can make a run. Like we saw it last season. They don't have to finish in a top 4 or top 3 spot to see progression with this team. They've lost some of their experience a little bit in the last offseason, right? Guys like Tolkien, for example, but they've added a lot too. So same identity, and that identity of being a team that just plays through transition, through set pieces, and keeps things as much as they can stout in the back. Again, maybe not the best defense in MLS at the end of the day, but I'm not going to hear
Only
that shout.
conceded one goal all season.
Yeah, yeah, man. Bob really put that whole take out there, huh? Yeah, man. I think this is where they are to me. I think they're ahead of every other team right here, and they can make a run. Will they? That's to be determined. So, are we good there?
Yeah.
All right, John, talk to me, bro. Orlando.
I mean, I'd say we're coming for sure. I think we're playoffs for sure. I would say we're going to be in the playoffs, but I would be shocked if we're not. It's tight in the East. It really have to fall apart for us.
Yeah.
I like our schedule. I got hope.
Yeah. I think minimum right here in this week coming, territory, 100%. Playoff merch, like 1,000% in. Like things would have to go, pretty far south, I think. I'm actually not opposed. I actually like what I see in Orlando. To be honest.
I mean, if you could put us up there, though, you got to probably put Nashville ahead of us.
Ooh.
They're more
mainly because of Sam Surridge, you would say. I would say
I would not say that, but sure.
Hey, you know what? Just because of that take, put them back down.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that, bro. That's a good
Cashville.
That's a good striker.
Cashville, homie.
Straight Cashville. Yeah, I like this. That's a good shout by John. I would put Nashville up there too. But again, I think both of these teams are in. Like, I would be very shocked if they weren't.
I think all three of those teams at the top are like the most complete teams and like we've talked about so far. Like they got attack and defense across the board. When they're on their game, they're like a very good team in the East.
With good coaching as well.
Yep, with good coaching. Exactly.
Solid spine and structure throughout.
And the same can be said about this next team, right? The Philadelphia Union. I think you put them up here.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think the good coaching piece was like the last sort of question mark, I think, to an extent, only because like we didn't know who they were going to bring in after that super long tenure under Curtin. And dude, Cardinals impressed me. I think because did they make any key signings in the offseason?
I think they signed a striker for about like $2 million, but that's about it. I think
I
they
mean,
added a
they-
center
they-
back.
And they
as
lost
well.
Gazdag.
They
got
lost
rid of
Gazdag. They
got
lost
rid of
McGlynn.
Yep.
They lost Carranza, but I think
Yeah,
he was
bro.
gone by the offseason already. They
And-
lost
and-
Curtin, obviously, but they lost a lot of players, and nobody expected them to be this good this season.
Let me ask you guys this real question.
Addition
Real
by
question.
subtraction.
Yeah, real question. Are they now the best team in the league?
They're battling it with Vancouver, for sure.
I think there's a world where they are number one.
Best team
There
in the
is.
East for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
and points wise, yes, they are the best team. But like, as far as teams go, they are up there with Vancouver. It's literally back and forth.
yeah. I don't know. Part of me feels like they are, and the biggest reason why is only because like I feel like Vancouver. Maybe it's due to just everything they've had to juggle so far this season. I'm trying not to let the Triple C final play too much in my mind because that was an ass whooping against Cruz Azul. But like, I don't know. To me, they're still just prone to dropping one-off games here against middling teams, right? Not just the past Crew result that we just saw last week or whatever it was, but I don't know, just like weird one-off results here and there that can happen. And I feel like Philadelphia is very complete,
Yeah.
very complete.
St. Louis.
Vancouver is too. Like to me, we're nitpicking here, but I'm
I
just
think
saying.
Vancouver's only situation is that they're right now currently going to be without Berhalter. Did Brian White get called up?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I did.
So you're missing two very key pieces, in my opinion.
Yeah,
in this time period. Can it hurt them? I don't know. This team proved that they could do stuff when they're down certain players as well. So I think mentality is clearly there, but I think that could be a factor going into the rest of, at least for this summer, till the Gold Cup's over. But obviously that's all semantics, and that's not what we're talking about right now. But
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, look, we'll keep them here, of course, but I think it's a question that does need to be answered, right? Because like for the last like 2 months, we've been saying Vancouver is consistently the number one team in the league. I think Philadelphia now has had so much consistency at the top. It feels like there's not a changing of the tide, but like they're there, bro. Philly and Vancouver are right there.
If you want to give it to them, I mean, currently Philadelphia is above them by 2 points in the Sports Show.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very close. Very, very close. And again, I think Vancouver's had more games to juggle. So like context is always super important. But I don't know, man. Cardinals got the guys moving. Dude, St. Louis has to regret, I think, it to some extent,
they're
letting him
kicking
go.
themselves.
Yeah. I like what was the logic, man? The logic. They just pulled the trigger way too early on that. All right, man. Portland. Are they
coming?
legit? Are they for real? Yeah. Are they coming for everybody in the West? How do we feel?
I think it gotta be we're coming above Chicago, like Chicago are.
Yeah, Chicago's more like a recent form thing. I think Portland's
Yeah.
like a pretty consistent over the course of the season. But I'll go back to what I said before. It's like Portland, bro, just point me towards a good team they've beaten.
Ty.
Name me a legit fucking team they've beaten.
Ty.
Do you know
There's
what I'm
a
saying? Like,
Ties, bro.
No,
there's a
I
lot of
agree,
draws.
man.
There's a lot of draws. But I think even the wins they have, like it's against the teams they should beat. Like I'll tell you right now, I can see Portland finishing top 4 in the West and losing in the first round of playoffs. 100%.
I can see that too.
I don't know. It's just I have yet to see Neville put in a master class against a top team. And you guys know how I feel about Phil Neville, so I feel like I don't know, man. It's really close between here and like here. We could put them up here and say, look, they're coming, but like I have a feeling that they might. I don't know.
Maybe a few pieces, bro.
If you're saying a few pieces, they're going shopping. If you're saying a piece, I say we coming.
Yeah, I'll keep them here. I think otherwise, if I drop them down, it creates like different conversations to be had about guys like Chicago.
Let's put them above Chicago then.
Okay. Yeah, I think to be fair, and I hope like the Portland fan who consistently feels like I'm a hater takes that, hold that a little bit, because I'm doing this against my own sort of better thinking here, my better judgment. But
apparently they have a fairly easy schedule in the West coming up, so I don't know. Maybe
yeah.
it's just going to be a nice season for them with lots of easy games.
It could be. It could be. I just again, and maybe it's just due to like teams that were supposed to be performing at this point in the year that just aren't, and that's why I'm not rating some of the wins that they've gotten up to this point. But bro, it's just like I've looked at their schedule plenty of times, and I'm not impressed with any of the dubs they have so far. I'm really not. These are teams they should.
I do agree with that point, though. They have not beaten anyone really good.
Yeah. So all right, we'll see. We'll see what happens in Portland. Salt Lake, especially now, still without Luna. Luna and his very fine waxy mustache as he plays against Saudi Arabia tonight. All right, man. Let's do how we feeling. Are they gonna go out and buy pieces? Do they need to?
Has that ever been their identity?
Not really. Not under Master Wenny anyway. That's the only thing. I think that they're probably here, bro, in this territory. For being honest,
they're below Houston and Dallas. They lost to Galaxy.
that's actually true. They lost. I forgot about that.
They gave Galaxy their first win.
They gave Galaxy their first dub.
I think they're below Atlanta just because of the freaking the group.
Yeah,
they're a team that for sure can make a run. It's just contingent on Luna.
Yeah, but even when they've had Luna, they still find a way sometimes to lose games. They just need more pieces. That's why I want to put them in this middle category, but like they're just not that great of a team, and they're probably not going to go out and spend.
Are they better?
To be fair, all the teams that are on this maybe we can make a run could definitely use a few more signings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
But again, I think that's the case for all of them. I don't think any of these guys. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys. Yeah. I think we answered our question, like Hector said. John, what were you gonna say there?
Are they better or worse than the Rapids? Like I feel like they're so similar in so many ways. Just
I think they're worse in my opinion.
The way that like the results they get, the status they have in the West, I feel is very similar.
Yeah.
I struggle to see
status,
who's going to come higher, or if either of them will maybe make the playoffs.
Yeah, the status piece I definitely agree with. I'm more like, I just think that like Colorado has more consistency in them, and they're not solely relying upon Mihalovic. I think RSL is to an extent solely rely upon Luna. I don't know where else the X factor comes from. Yeah, I'm cool with this, guys. Above Atlanta. You guys cool with this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, man. San Diego.
It's time. Playoff merch.
Yep.
It is time.
Or are we putting them here, above or below Cincinnati?
Above.
Yeah, they're legit, man.
Yeah,
they're legit. Dreyer, man. This guy's just fucking insane, bro. In all honesty, man, I think he's gonna have a career year in MLS this season.
I mean, his goal, the goal he scored from halfway. I mean, it wasn't like he just sent it up there and see what happened. That was a shot.
Yeah, very intentional, very intentional. And not just that, bro. I think statistically too. Like we talk all the time about how much firepower certain teams have in this league, the Phillies of the world, the Vancouvers of the world. I think San Diego is the highest scoring team in MLS, or one of the highest. They might be like right behind Philly, I think. So when you look at that, right, just like in their first season, I don't think it's a fluke. I really don't. Like to me, St. Louis was a fluke season 1. Sorry, bro. St. Louis fans, I'm sorry. Like it's just looking like more and more like the outlier, just like Austin's fluke 2022 season. It's just more and more looking like the outlier because since then we've seen nothing. So I feel like this attack is actually legit, and Mikey Varas actually deserves a lot of credit.
33 goals compared to Philadelphia's 34.
1 goal less, and then only 1 more goal received than Philly. So they're up there.
Top team. Top team. All right, man. San Diego, man, you guys are crushing it right now. The Quakes, which we have Dallas is coming up, and I'm kind of scared of this.
Do they have space for more pieces?
I don't know. They've already traded for a couple extra ones since the season started under Arena. So I don't think so. But I think they're a good team. No matter what, they're a pretty good team.
Yeah, on top of that, they're also up for sale. John Fisher's
the big news. The big news. Yep, they're looking to sell the team. What was the valuation? Was it 600 mil? Something like that? Something stupid. Yeah. Again, it wants to show me how they come up with that calculation because it sure as hell ain't by putting asses in seats. I'll tell you that right now. They got to do more of that. But I don't know. I feel like San Jose, it's like they're place in the table is not accurately depicting how good this team actually can be, of course, right, on a good day. But I think that they'll continue to find the results, which makes me, and it's mainly because of how potent they are offensively. If I'm looking at this, I think they're the only other team outpacing San Diego in the West in goals scored. They just got to find a way to stop more goals at the end of the day. So they could go shopping on, when it comes to the back line, but I don't know if they have the room to do it. That's my thing. So, but this seems good, man. Like I said, we play them Wednesday. I think Dallas does. Not feeling too great about that game, considering how bad our back line is. So, is this accurate?
Yeah, they're very similar to Chicago in the East. Like
Mhm.
same thing. They're on that. Can definitely go on a run. They got good attack. They'll figure it out and can climb into the playoffs.
I think so too.
Yeah. And they got the manager that's MLS proven.
I swear to
Exactly,
God,
bro.
if Atletico Madrid end up buying them too, just like to have an MLS team.
I
That'd
can see
be
it.
wild, bro. Could you imagine? Oh man, that'd be fucking
Atletico
lit.
San Jose, bro. That's how you
Atletico San Jose would be crazy. There is a Dallas Atletico, but that's USL. Yeah, Atletico, anything in America just sounds really, really weird. But I would take it. I would definitely take it. It'd be interesting. All right, man. Seattle, another weird team. Has now scored 2 goals in the Club World Cup, 2 more than most people had them scoring in this competition. But in MLS, bro, I'll be honest, they're just kind of stagnant right now. They're not really looking that great. So, and again, we got to ask ourselves, do they look any better exiting the Club World Cup? They have one more game. That we know they're not going to advance. And so, what does that mean for this team?
Maybe we can make a run. This is probably the highest, or probably the lowest. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, probably the lowest I would put them for sure.
I just don't expect them to make much signings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they never do, right? They almost
Yeah.
never do. Yeah, so
I
if they
know.
were, they'd be like top of this category, I think.
But they'll make Krusnak a DP, bro.
That's their
Dude,
massive signing.
It's supposedly Obed Vargas might go for like 10 million.
So that's actually a good point, right? If Vargas does get sold, and he obviously he was super teed up for that Atleti game. Atleti is his like dream club from what I saw, which is really interesting. But let's say he gets sold for 10 mil. They bring that cash in this summer. They don't use that immediately.
They're gonna give it all to Rusnak. That's all they're gonna do.
Bro, shut up. There's no fucking way they're giving that off to Rusnak.
Shayan would crash out.
Yeah, he would. The crash out would actually be epic on that channel. 100%. Shout out Rave Green TV.
They just don't make signings that make you go like, "Holy crap, they did this!" You know, like Pedro de la Vega was cool, but it was like you guys been linked with him for so long that it was like it was bound to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know, man. Like they're so weird, and I think there's a belief in Seattle, which I can't disagree with it because obviously it's worked for so many years. But it's just this identity that like we could do things our way, and it has worked. I'm not trying to take that away from them, but they don't flash in any way when it comes to science. And I think Xiaoyan has actually complained about that a lot very frequently. So I don't think I'm that far off when I say that.
Yeah, I don't think Xiaoyan or really many Sounders fans will complain too much about that. They might complain about us putting them down here, but it's for the sole purpose of like guys like one. They're probably the most mid team, not just in the West, but in MLS. I think they're like even goals for and goals against. When you watch them play, it's always a pretty slow game. They rely more on their defense, and the chances they create aren't super clear cut. Their most clinical striker right now is who? Morris? Probably Morris.
Probably. No.
Ferreira was acquired, but he hasn't done much since being there. De La Vega still has plenty of games where he doesn't even start, whether it's due to injury or just bad form. Obed Vargas is their best player. Their best player is their center mid, and he may not even be there by the end of summer. So
if we were to add history in the criteria, Seattle Sounders and Chicago Fire would be switched. But we're not adding history. All right.
Fair enough. I'd say less, but say no more, bro. I'm good. Let's leave them right here. I'm totally fine with that. I think you're 100% right, Honda. We would be switching those if we were, factoring in just like historical reference, but we're not. So
I think the only way to turn it around for Xiaoyan is if they get to Remy.
They get to Remy. They do need. I'm telling you, man, a DP9 would actually make Seattle a pretty damn good team. Just someone who can convert. What's up?
Him and Jesus Pereira top.
Yeah. I mean, but Ferreira actually had one of the better chances against Botafogo. If you guys watched that game, he had a crazy left-footed curler that could have just—it was like this shy from it.
Who's their next game? PSG, right?
Yeah, PSG.
Oh, they're getting fucking destroyed that game.
Well, we'll see. I don't know about destroyed, but I think right now I've yet to see anybody outside of Auckland City get destroyed in this competition so far. So we'll find out. We'll find out. But hopefully Seattle can make that one competitive, and hopefully it carries into something MLS related. But until then, I think they're right here in this territory. Sporting Kansas City.
Maybe we can make a run.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, bro,
they did the unthinkable in firing Vermees. That's enough for them to make.
I don't know if that's enough to make a run. I will say about Sporting though is that like they looked halfway decent since then, and when you compare them to all teams outside of the bubble, like outside of the play-in, they're the highest scoring team. Like they can score goals, they just can't stop them to save their lives. So I don't know if they have room to go out and acquire someone. I don't know if Kansas City operates that way. Like in the middle of seasons, they typically don't. But that guy who controls all of that is no longer there. So to me, this is like the biggest question mark in this tier list.
It's a brand new regime, brand new people. They're gonna run it however they want.
So do you see them? Do you see them going out and acquiring a piece then? Because we could move them to the back end of this.
Maybe.
If
I mean,
they
it depends.
Jovic, then who knows, man?
Yeah, so I'm looking at the West now, actually, and bro, they are. If it was based off of goals scored alone, bro, they're like a higher scoring team significantly than the likes of Austin, Colorado, and then every other team ahead of them that's not in the playoffs right now. Dallas, Houston, Salt Lake, like they outscore all of them, and they just need to find a way to stop conceding goals. So. I don't know, man. Casey's like a really, really interesting one. I'm not opposed to putting them here, bro. I'm really not. We can move them down if you guys want to. If it just feels better that way, but I'm okay putting them right here. Everybody good with that?
They got the offense of Portland, but the defense of Galaxy, bro.
That's not a good
games
combination.
Finalized. US are through. They win 1-0 against Saudi.
Nice, very nice, very nice. So US probably advancing in Gold Cup, which is great. We're almost done here, guys. St. Louis.
Put them down there.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, they're down there.
Man.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, second manager sacked in what 3 seasons? Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
We have one more win than Montreal, which is why they're ahead there. But that's pretty much the high.
Same with the next team.
Yeah.
Above Montreal? Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And then finally, guys, Vancouver. Above or below San Diego?
Above.
That's the real question.
Still,
bro, I don't know. San Diego looks so good. They look so good.
I would put them above Philly, actually.
Maybe next month things switch around. It's just Vancouver's still there, bro.
I don't know. Maybe that's because I don't like Philly, but
it's either Philly or Vancouver. I don't care who's on top. They're both good. So,
yeah,
it's like a 1A and 1B.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Vancouver.
I think you gotta give it to Philly, man. Come on.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at too. Like, I really want to give it. Like, Philly's playing so damn well right now, so good. Yeah, I think so, guys. Right. I think so, guys. It's very, very close. Like I said, I think when you ask that question of like who's actually better in this league, if this is MLS Cup final, I could not pick a winner. Like, to me, it's just a matter of form.
I'm going Vancouver because Philly always chokes in finals. I don't care if you have
a Jim Curtin is gone though. Jim Curtin is gone.
I do not
care. He's no longer the 10% of the league.
Yeah. We're not gonna start bucketing off teams that way anymore, are we, Jim Curtin? Man. Look, I think this is accurate. I think this could be one of the most accurate tier lists we put together up to this point so far, lads. At least in the 2025 season. I think again, it just shows that we have a much more accurate representation and understanding of where these teams are realistically at this point of the year and where we see them going. So, any final movements, guys? Anything else you want to switch up here before we wrap?
No, I think that's
all right. All right, man. I like this, guys. And again, if you agree or disagree, let us know in the comments down below, man. I'm really kind of curious how everybody feels, especially with the summer transfer window looming. I'm hoping there's a lot of movement. There was actually a good amount last season. It made everything in the second half just that much more exciting. And with not as many teams participating in Leagues Cup this year, I'm curious as to who's kind of got their eyes on the market and if we are able to attract any interesting players or personalities to the league in the summer 2025. But look,
Who wants
man,
betting?
we
Who wants betting?
what
Anybody up for betting?
nobody wants that man, bro. He's all
Yeah.
yours. He is all yours. You guys can keep him. But yeah, man, that's it. That is our tier list for this month. I guess I don't know. It's a weird month with Club World Cup and everything else. I don't know if it's like the May 2025 tier list, but we're just gonna say over the last month of soccer being played in MLS,
Yeah,
this is
June.
where we see
May,
everybody at. Yeah. This is where we see all teams currently at. So again, if you do like this type of content around Major League Soccer, do me a favor, like the video down below, subscribe to GOLZ TV. Probably have a couple more watch party live streams coming before the end of the Club World Cup. Definitely want to see who makes it to the knockout rounds there. And plenty of summer activity on the horizon. So again, come back to the channel time and time again. I'm going to include links to all of our co-hosts down in the description notes below. Go check out their channels. Go follow what they're doing. And as always, man, sound off in the comments down below. Let us know how you feel. But that's it for us this week. From everybody here at Wake Up MLS, my name is Jose. That's Davi. That's John. That's Hector. That's Honda. We'll catch you guys next time.